Hi guys, Tracy here. This layout starts with this North Pole embellishment. It looks like a tag. It doesn't say the Polar Express, it says the North Pole Express. I also identified a couple of other, pardon me for my cough. I pulled out another couple of embellishments that had a North Pole theme to them. I had already used that beautiful North Pole paper. I used the back side of it. It was from crepe paper from the Reflections of Christmas collection. It was absolutely gorgeous, and it probably would have made a great feature for this layout. But because I didn't have it, I decided to take this layout in a completely different direction. So I have this green paper, and it's got a shimmer to it, and it came in the kit, and I really want to make sure I use some of these beautiful, beautiful tags. They're from Ormolu, I think. I could be wrong. But I'm just kind of taking out some of my favorite embellishments, and I do this kind of a layout every once in a while. Instead of a layered layout, it's kind of like a deconstructed layout where I'm just kind of laying out all of the pieces, not on top of each other for the most part, but all beside each other. And it's a really nice opportunity to showcase some of your favorite embellishments. And I know that some of the bottoms are going to be off screen for a tiny bit, but I am going to move everything up. As I was laying everything out, I noticed that I could make a triangle out of these embellishments, and so that's what I started doing at this point, was trying to make a triangle with that gift embellishment up at the top to be the very top of the triangle. So it's going to take me a little bit. I'm using a combination of the pink paisley, I think it's called Snow Village. What's it called? Yeah, Snow Village embellishments that are off to the right there in that shiny tray, and also the punch out embellishments that are part of the Teresa Collins Santa's List collection. So you'll see me kind of pulling from both of those. I like that Memories one better than the postcard one. The postcard one is a little bit too old-fashioned. I'm going to do a couple of little switcheroos here just to make the shape kind of sit with the triangular theme. And so a triangle is a really good shape for Christmas because it is the shape of a Christmas tree. And I have never made one of these types of layouts into a shape before, so this is kind of a new idea for me. I'm probably not the first person to do it for sure, but it's new for me. So I'm just kind of, as I do this, I'm kind of a little nervous thinking, I don't know if I'm going to like this. This is a little, I don't know, I don't want it to be too themey, or I don't know. But you know what? I end up really, really liking this. This is so different from the other things that I do. I'm putting a bit of adhesive on the corners of that piece of vellum, which I'm going to end up way towards the end. I'm going to take that off because you can see it, and I don't like that you can see it. So I'm shifting everything over because I had built my triangle a little off center there. And with these kinds of lined up embellishment, all laid out type of layouts, I like to have them be as straight as possible and as even as possible and that sort of thing. So there's that ticket. That's kind of the jumping off point for this layout. So I want it to be front and center in this layout. So it's going right there. And I'm getting a chance to use two of those beautiful tags that came in the kit that I really wanted to use and to showcase in this layout. Both of them happen to be layered with Ormolu flare badges. And then I'm just using my Zig two-way pen to put a tiny little star way up at the very top. So now I'm just using Stampin' Up! Pop dots to put those flare badges on. I thought about adding a third one just because, you know, it's good to do threes, but I don't want to do three just for the sake of doing three. Oh, here's an idea that I had that was horrible. I decided to put these little Christmas tree decoration. I thought, you know, it's a Christmas tree, right? I'm going to put Christmas decorations on it. But no, stop. You know, it's better for this to be more abstract than that. So I don't want to decorate my tree. I want the tree to be the decoration. So, although I'm sure somebody could have pulled that off, I'm just not gonna try to do that because it's beyond my skills, I think. So I'm just pulling it. So now that I have the basic structure of the triangle in place, or the tree shape in place, now I want to add some interest. And I want interest that's not going to take away from the shape. That's really, really important because the shape is the main deal here on this layout. So I'm using a lot. You'll notice that I've picked a lot of vellum elements because they don't change the shape of what's underneath of them. You can layer them, and even if they hang over a little bit, you can still see the shape that was supposed to be there. So now I thought about replacing that little Santa tag because A, that Santa tag is the only very old-fashioned looking thing on there, and also I wanted to balance those polka dots off to the right-hand side just above the tag. There's a little polka dotted flag, and that little other tag had more, it wasn't polka dots, but it's something similar, stars. I'm going to come back to that because I just want to, so I'm thinking about two things here. I want to keep the overall triangular shape. I'm trying to add interest, and I'm also kind of trying to balance things off. So I have a large star that's kind of low in the layout, so I want to put a largish star that's high. Here I go, I'm going to replace that Santa tag with with the starred tag, and that balances off that red and cream over on the right hand side with some red and I guess see-through on the right hand side. So now I'm just slowly going through all of these embellishments in the tray there, and I'm picking out anything that I think I might be able to add. And rather than add it piece by piece, I'm going to put it all out on the side of my, kind of like in the margins of my tree, and then I'm going to come back to them and decide where I might put some of this stuff. Oh, sorry about the focusing here. There we go, it's back. And so I'm going to use the circle elements because they fit with a Christmas tree. A lot of times trees have balls on them, and it's a little bit more subtle than the wood veneer ornaments. They were kind of, you know, knocking you over the head with that message. I want it to be more subtle. So the circles are doing it for me. I like those. And now I'm going to just start putting some of these things in place. Not going to glue down the 2 yet because I know I'm going to journal on that little blue tag that says 13 on it. I'm just going to ignore all of these numbers, and because there's a lot of numbers in this embellishment pack, I think it's meant for like a countdown or December daily or something, but I'm just ignoring the numbers, just using them as a design element. I'm using tiny, tiny bits of my clear adhesive here. It's like a clear, it's Tombow, I think it is, Tombow Mono. And you can see it through vellum, but when you're using such a tiny amount, you really can't see it. Although it's going to end up that you're going to be able to see it on that large star embellishment that I have at the very bottom there, the negative space one. I'm pretty sure I want to put some lyrics to the song from the Polar Express, and I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that. So I thought about putting an embellishment up in the top corner. I'm going to sit on that idea for a while and finish off my tree. I decided to put a trunk on my tree so that it definitely looks tree-like. Before it looked more like a triangle. And here's where I'm noticing that the adhesive on that star is just too obvious. I don't like how it's looking. So I'm just using my fingers to rub the adhesive off. It just balls up when you rub on it, especially when it's on something like vellum. I'm going to use my stapler here to attach the star, and as I stapled it, it kind of shifted out of alignment, but I'm going to leave it as it is because pulling it up and taking out those staples is just going to make a mess. So I'm going to leave it. Speaking of making a mess, I'm going to put some staples. Is that what I'm doing right now? Yes. Nope, not quite yet. So here I'm going to do my journaling on that blue tag that says 13. I'm just writing right over the number 13 and ignoring it completely. And then I'm going to put this other little banner there, and I'm just going to make my journaling so that the banner will look cute. I can overlap the banner with my journaling because the banner is vellum, so you can see through it. I love that about vellum and transparent elements, is you can really be free with your layering. Right here, I'm writing hot chocolate because that's my favorite scene, and it happens to be the scene from which this photo is taken. And then right here, I'm writing the Polar Express, just in my own handwriting. And now I'm getting my Christmas roller date stamp, which I didn't end up needing to use the Christmas one because I'm not going to ink the phrase. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just over at my computer checking the date on that photo to see what night it is that we watched Hot Chocolate or the Polar Express. What I did was I actually took a photo of my TV. I took a bunch of photos of my TV to try to get one that had the right scene of hot chocolate splashing. And then Scott had the great idea of pressing pause, which is a lot better than taking 10,000 pictures of something moving. So now here I am. I'm putting some tape over on the side here. Oops, a little bit too much tape, so I'm going to move it over a little bit. And this is washi tape that came in the Home for the Holidays kit, which is the kit that I'm using for all of these. Everything from this layout is from that kit. Just put 3 small strips up there, and that's where I'm thinking I'm going to put my lyrics. I can always pull that off if I need to, especially on this shimmery paper. It's really easy to take stuff off. These are from my stash. They are my Mind's Eye enamel. You know what? Those might be basic gray enamel dots. They very well could be. The way that they're arranged on the sheet makes me think they might be basic gray. So I put them in 3 different places. Oops, I'm going to change one of them to a bigger one. There we go. So 3 different places, just that old, cluster triangle. Oh yeah, and here's where I'm going to mess up. I am stapling through. I've got to get a new tiny attacher. Some very, very generous YouTuber sent me a coupon to Joann's so that I could buy myself a new tiny attacher. And I have tried about 4 times to order tiny attachers from Joann's. I know they carry them, and I know that they're probably in stock all the time, but every time that I try to order it, they're always out of stock. So I punched through the paper because my tiny attacher doesn't always line up, and it wasn't lined up. And if you lean on it when it's not lined up, the edge of the tool like cuts into your paper. So it's not cutting all these other places because I was careful to make sure that it was lined up properly. And I just use my We Are Memory Keepers little brad closing tool, which I didn't ever think that I wanted that tool. I thought, I can just close brads myself. But then I figured, gee, I better get that because it might be good for closing staples, because that's actually hard to do. So I've been using it for that, and it's really great for that. So I went off to my typewriter and I typed up some of the lyrics to the song. I had to Google it to find out what the lyrics actually were, because it's one of those songs that I like, but I don't really know very well. So I just printed up some of the lyrics, and I'm going to layer those in strips over those pieces of washi tape that I already put up there. And I actually really like this. I think it adds a lot to this layout. Otherwise, it would be kind of like this, especially when you're flipping through my scrapbook, because this layout is so different than the other ones. This layout would really stand out if it was just this random tree. But adding those, it kind of puts a bit of my style back on this layout, because this layout is a little bit of a different from my regular style. Yeah, so I thought about decorating up there, and then I thought, nope, that's enough. I really just want to, there's a close-up of it so you can have a look. And I really just wanted to stick to the tree. I wanted it to be just all about the tree shape on this one. So I thought any embellishing that I do up in that corner is going to take away from that. So there's that really cool Ormolu North Pole flare badge, which I love. And the string is a little bit in the way. I don't intend for the string to sit that way. And that is it. You will get a chance to see some photos of this layout towards the end. And so thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I hope that you all have a really great scrappy week.